Well, hello, 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 and welcome to The Difference Makers. I am your host, Jacqueline Grant, and we are here to showcase a topic that is definitely needing more exposure. It's a very serious topic, a topic that could likely touch all of you out there, and it's something that we want to make sure that we make a difference in a positive way to make sure that you support the lives of the young people in your life. Again, we're here to make a difference. This show is The Difference Makers, and we want to make sure that you share this show with those who want and need these topics that we cover to help you to help others in their lives. Again, my name is Jacqueline Grant, and today we're talking about a topic that is near and dear to our guest's heart. Let me share with you who we have as our guest for today. Her name is Jackie Simmons. I'd love to introduce her and share her gifts and talents with you. She is a Tedx speaker, radio show host, international best-selling author, mindset magician, and co-founder of the Teen Suicide Prevention Society. Jackie Simmons is best known for her mission to wake up the world. In 1995, blindsided by her 14-year-old daughter's suicide attempt, Jackie entered a world of depression, addictions, medical mysteries, and deadly silences. Okay, on the outside, Jackie hid her deep psychic wounds behind a facade of frantic entrepreneurial activity. Then on August 3rd, 2019, Jackie's now 37-year-old daughter broke the silence. Jackie wasn't ready. She calls August 3rd, 2019, the day her purpose tapped her on the shoulder and led her to where she is today. Please help me to welcome to the virtual stage, Jackie Simmons. Jackie, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Jacqueline. That was lovely. It's like, wow.
Well, we are really pleased and happy to have you here. You are definitely making a difference in the lives of others. Share with us just on a high level, and then we can go much deeper, how you are making a difference in the world.
I think the main way that I'm making a difference is I am living proof that you don't have to be perfect to make a difference. Mm-hmm. It has been messy and it has been bizarre in a lot of ways for me. That ever since it's been almost 2 years now, and we've co-founded, my daughter Stephanie and her two sisters, we co-founded the Teen Suicide Prevention Society. We had an idea that maybe there was a way to take some of the coping skills that Stephanie had learned along her suicide avoidant journey and help teens get these skills before they need them. It was that phrase, before they need them, that my daughter spoke when she broke the silence, giving a 7-minute message that matters kind of talk. Mm-hmm. That phrase, that it took over a year before it finally sunk in to me that this is the missing piece. Every suicide prevention program we could find was an intervention program. It was reactive to there being a sign, to someone having a diagnosis, to someone making an attempt. And we recognized, or we started asking a different question. Mm-hmm. The question everybody was asking was, how do you stop suicide? Well, the answer is you identify someone at risk and you get them intervention, and whether it's counseling, therapy, and medications, whatever it needs to be. Mm-hmm. We started asking the question, how do we prevent suicidal thinking? Okay. And we got a different answer. We got upstream from the problem. We found a way to interrupt negative thinking patterns and start creating a buffer between people and an edge that we don't even know if they're near, and we don't care because everybody could use a little more of a buffer.
And you're very correct when you say that. Everyone can use that. So I want to just share with our audience, and for you to actually share this with others, your friends, your family, your coworkers, because this is not just for teens. This is for young people. This is for all people. Correct, Jackie?
The scripts work for anyone. The script to stop suicide, that talk, was written with the teen brain in mind, because we know the teen brain is missing a hunk. It's called the prefrontal cortex. It's not fully developed. Oh, pardon me. It's the prefrontal cortex is what allows you to rationally think, to predict, to have a pause button where you go, well, if I do this, that's what's going to happen. Teens don't have that. And if we don't recognize that, we're going to talk to them like they're adults, and it's just not going to work. Besides, we found out two things. One, parents don't want to have the talk about suicide with their kids. The other thing we found out is that kids don't want to be talked to anymore. I mean, they don't. They glaze over. As soon as they think their parent is having one of the talks, they're gone.
Yeah.
Or they're sassy. My daughters went sassy. When we went to have the talk about sex, my daughters, each of them, didn't matter what age I tried this, they each came back with, sure, Mom, what do you want to know?
Okay.
Our kids are getting an education outside of the home on sex, on drugs, on alcohol, on gambling, on gaming. They are getting this information through their culture, through their screens. And parents, we're kind of disenfranchised. We're not getting our message across to them. So we created the script in a way that we could engage the teens without having to be having one of the talks. So there's an invitation I'll share with everyone, because it'll work if you want to get anybody to be able to actually hear what you want to say.
So, Jackie, you talked about the script. So is it an actual script, or is it a template, a guideline? And where can we find this?
It's an actual script, the talk to stop suicide. One place people can get the script is at my Tedx talk. It's actually embedded in that talk because I wanted to get it to as many people as possible. And actually, Jacqueline, I will make the PDF of the script available to all of your listeners. I'll make sure I get that.
Thank you so very much. And we will stay tuned. We will have that information for you at the end of this particular segment, but we will also have it in the chat down below so that you can have access to this and share it. Please do share it with your friends, family, coworkers, anyone you come in contact with that has children or grandchildren, nieces, nephews, cousins. Everyone can benefit from this because everyone knows someone who could potentially need this information.
Well, now there's a scary thought for you.
Yeah.
Everyone knows someone who's struggling with suicidal thoughts. The reality is, according to the Center for Disease Control, more than 25% of our young adults in America are struggling to stay alive. They're struggling with suicidal thinking. The challenge is you can't tell by looking. So instead of waiting for signs, which we believe is looking for trouble, instead of that, we believe you just have the talk with everyone you care about. And it's a planned talk with a script that's designed to work with the way the human brain really works. And the script actually alerts you when intervention is needed, even if the topic's never come up before.
And how long does this script take to go through?
Less than 10 minutes. As a matter of fact, I could walk you through it right now if you're willing.
Sure.
All right. We'll pretend that you heard the invitation. Hey, Jacqueline, I'm part of the mission to stop teen suicide. I have a script. I need to practice 5 times. Can we practice tomorrow at noon?
Okay.
Cool. Thank you for letting me practice my script with you. It's only 4 questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1. Have you heard about the rise in teen suicides?
Yes.
Thank you. Question 2. Do you have a story? Do you have a friend who's tried or died?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Question 3. Have you ever thought of leaving that way?
No, I haven't.
Thank you. Question 4. Jacqueline, why stay? What are your reasons for staying?
I have a purpose to fulfill.
Tell me more.
I have gifts and talents and abilities that empower other people to use their gifts and talents and abilities to serve the world, to earn a living, and to share life with others.
Thank you. And when we're doing the script with someone, we would ask what else. The goal is to keep someone talking about their reasons for staying. And anyone watching this can see how it works by what just happened with you. If you review this video, you will see your whole face lit up, your whole body energy went up. What was happening in your brain? Your brain was building out a whole new neural network, like a file. And the file is labeled reasons for staying. And now that you have a file labeled reasons for staying, thoughts of leaving slide off that. We call it emotional Teflon. So it doesn't get hooked in your brain and you're less likely to get caught up in a negative echo chamber. Now, there's a caveat, and it's in the Tedx talk, and I'm going to say it here. If having this talk with someone and they don't have any reasons for staying, stay with them and dial 988. That's the 800 number for National Suicide Intervention. So 800-273-8255 or simply 988. Now, here's the real kicker. If someone has no reasons for staying, and there's another way to ask that question. You could say, if they have no reasons, I could have asked. Another way to ask is, what's so good in your life that you want more of it? So if somebody doesn't have reasons for staying, we'll ask it the other way, but only if they don't answer it the first way, because we want that file folder in their head labeled reasons for staying. But if they have no reasons for staying, and question 3, have you had thoughts of leaving that way? If that's a yes, and question 4, there's no reasons for staying, then you stay with them and you dial 911. And you don't leave them until they are in the hands of a professional interventionist. They might hate you for it, and you might save their life. But the script is designed to give you the guideline that says, okay, anything other than these 2 things, which is really rare, it's very uncommon that someone has no reasons for staying.
Wow, Jackie, that's so powerful and so simple. 4 simple questions, but very powerful, and can change the trajectory of someone's life. And that is just so tremendous. Can you share with us, did you come up with this, or is this done through research? How did these 4 questions come about?
It's something that was created through research and divinely inspired. I never believed in the concept of downloading things or automatic writing or any of those. But when it came to putting this together, what happened was each piece came to me at a different time. First piece, the 3rd question, do you have a story? Do you have a friend who tried or died? Came out of my mouth without any thinking on my part. I was talking to a group of teens at a local high school about the Teen Suicide Prevention Society, about our mission. It was actually predates the nonprofit. I was just talking about our idea that if we could get teens to break the silence, we could keep them here. And so I shared about the book we had written, Make It a Great Day, The Choice is Yours. It's a book of inspirational stories to help you be able to break the silence, because we thought that was the way to go. And after I talked to the kids about the program, there was still time left. You don't want to leave teenagers bored. So I said, okay, tell me, do you have a story? Do you have a friend who's tried or died? They went around the room, one story after the other. One young lady lost her first friend to suicide in elementary school.
Oh, gosh.
And her second friend, just the year before, and she was only a sophomore. I got out to my car at the end of that day, and I sat in my car and I cried. It was not most of the kids in the room, Jacqueline. It was 100% of the kids in the room had a story, and I got it. I'll bet their parents are just as clueless as I was, because I was clueless. Blindsided is not an understatement. And I started studying, the mind as well as the emotions, the spirit. I went on this real journey, both to understand what had happened in my family, that my child was suicidal, and to understand what was going on with me, because I was dealing with my second round of clinical depression, and I don't wish that on anyone. Mm. The journey led me to these other questions. And the first one is just an awareness question. It's just basic sales, right? Nobody's going to buy something they're not aware of the problem. So the first question is a basic sales question. It's awareness. Have you heard about the rise in teen suicides? Now they're aware there's a problem. Mm-hmm. You don't have to deep dive into it. The second question came from being with that group of teens. Do you have a friend who's tried or died? This is, do you have a need? Is this a problem that's in your world? This is still, I'm a sales trainer. My first book was Your Path from Secret to Success. It's a 7-week sales training guide. So that information, coupled with what I was learning on my journey as a stress management consultant, is where these questions came from. They're not coaching. They're closed-ended questions. So this is the opposite of coaching. All my coaches freak out. And I'm like, it's just read it. It works if you read it. Why does it work? Because the third question is, do you have an urgent need for this problem to be solved? Have you ever thought of leaving that way? Still, basic sales. Is it personal to you? And then the flip. And the flip, the one that sets the brain up to build out a new neuro pathway, is, what are your reasons for staying? Again, basic sales. What do you want your prospects to see? You want them to believe in who they can become and what they will accomplish working with you if you're a coach or a consultant. If you're a healing practitioner, you want your clients to see themselves with having the positive outcome. That's what this question does. I actually first taught this script to my group of people who were in the Ultimate Sales Mastery course, because the script teaches sales in a way that is so efficient and easy. Mm-hmm. And the questions could be modified. So we spent almost a year working on making this into the sales program before I took the Tedx stage. Well, that may change things.
Well, when we come back from our break, please share with us about your TEDx experience, how you're impacting the world on a continuous basis, and how others can get in contact with you. So please stay tuned in our audience for more with Jackie Simmons, and we'll be back in just a moment. So again, I'm Jacqueline Grant, your host here at The Difference Makers. So I want to share with you that The Difference Makers is about entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship, but also those who want to become entrepreneurs. So if you are a corporate worker, a 9-to-5 worker, or anything in between, and entrepreneurship or utilizing your own gifts, talents, and abilities to be able to control your time, your dollar, and your destiny, you're in the right place. I want to share with you a gift, a set of gifts where this is totally free to you, but it will empower you to either take what you have and move it to new levels, or to inspire you to do something that has likely been in your heart, in your spirit, in your soul, and you just didn't know how to make it happen. I want to share with you that there will be a link below this video, once it's on replay, that will allow you to download 25 free gifts that will help inspire you and take your business to new levels. Let me share with you that this link will actually show you how to do a number of different things. From a self-selling secrets guide to risk reversal when you're in front of your ideal client and how to be able to overcome their objections. Up level your sales by tapping into your hidden sales superpowers, how to have better team performance if you have a team working with you, a blueprint for success, storytelling. Jackie talked about storytelling. We know that stories are truly what sells your product or service, lead generation, profits formula for partnerships, all different types of things, including getting on live stages, as well as how to hire a virtual assistant, which is very important these days. You can't do it all yourself. And especially if you're still working your 9-to-5 job and you are developing your side business or your entrepreneurial endeavor, you want to be able to have that assistance of a virtual assistant. Writing your own book, that can be a trigger to be able to share your experience, as well as predictable revenue checklists, guides to strategic planning, all different types of things, including my own gift of a free LinkedIn profile audit to show you how to position your expertise and your authority through your LinkedIn profile, and many, many more. So I just wanted to share that with you, that is going to be available in the chat of this particular post, and you'll be able to access that free of charge, and you'll be able to get inspiration and education to be able to have the business of your dreams. So let's welcome back our guest of the day, Jackie Simmons. Jackie, welcome back. Share with us about your TED Talk and how that came to be, what impact that it had, and how we can get in contact with you if we'd like to know more.
All right, that's a lot. We're going to knock it out. All right, we're going to do it backwards. The easiest way to get in touch with me is through my team, and that's just team@JackieSimmons.com. Shoot an email. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. Yes, I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook, and I need your LinkedIn services, but that's another story. So, my journey to the TEDx stage is a little different than I ever thought it would be. One, I never dreamed of taking a TEDx stage. I am by nature or by nurture more comfortable behind the scenes, and especially with a lot of people that would see me, it was like, no, somebody else can do that. It's not mine. And my mentor at the time said, Jackie, please take this stage. Please talk about teen suicide. And I went, oh, crap. Okay. So I wrote my script. This was back at the end of 2019, and my stage was set for May of 2020. The good news for me, it got shut down because of COVID. Talk about not feeling. My TEDx coach at the time said, Jackie, your script is really tactical and it's not vulnerable. I mean, I had filled my talk with the 800 numbers and the signs and the thises and the risk factors and all of this very good information. But he said, you could do something more significant with this stage, but you're going to have to be vulnerable. So I rewrote my script. The first script became a book. It's called the Why Not Workbook. Never made it to the stage. The second script was more vulnerable. And then my stage got closed down because of COVID. The end of 2020, just November, found out that I was going to take the stage in January, pulled back out my script. They gave me a new TEDx coach. The more we worked with the script, the more I hated it. I had a friend who used to be a TEDx organizer, Roger Killen, and I asked him if he would just look over my script. And he said, Jackie, the content's really good, but it's not going to inspire anybody. And I said, will you help me? So the first thing I had to do was get permission from my TEDx organizer to rewrite my script. I'm now 3 weeks from stage. And to her credit, she said yes. So we ripped my script down to nothing but the bare bones and rebuilt it based on the story. And if you had asked me, would I ever tell the story of the day my daughter attempted to take her own life? I would have said, there's no story there. It was just a day. As a matter of fact, that's what I told Roger when he said I was going to have to tell that story. I'm like, there's no story. It was just a day. I don't remember it. And he said, can you ask your daughter? Sure. I can do that. So I called my daughter and I said, Stephanie, I'm doing the TEDx talk. I'm going to be talking about the story, the day that you first attempted. And honey, I don't remember. And my daughter burst out laughing. And she said, Mama, it was the shopping. And then I remembered.
Mm.
Telling that story of that day of shopping. I mean, Stephanie was 14. She was in between her sisters, in between schools, and in between clothing sizes. The shopping became an adventure. Nothing fit her. Outfit after outfit, store after store. At the end of the day, we came home with nothing except an attitude. Stephanie headed straight upstairs to the bathroom. I collapsed on the sofa, grateful to be off my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Mom, I think I need help. And my eyes were drawn to Stephanie's left arm. Blood was dripping down her fingers onto the wood floor. The emotional part of my brain started screaming in panic at the sight of my bleeding, obviously suicidal child. The rational part of my brain started flipping through the files in my head, looking for the date of her last tetanus shot. Have you ever been panicky and calm at the same time, Jacqueline?
Yeah.
I wrapped her in my arms, assessed the wounds. They were not life-threatening. We applied bandages and made plans together to visit the teen mental health facility the next day, the local one. That night, after the tears had stopped and the mutual I'm sorry's had been shared, she slept. I couldn't risk being away from her, so we slept in the living room. And between us, her handwritten note, her promise not to harm herself again while I slept. Like I was going to close my eyes that night. My thoughts just swung between what happened, how did this happen, and who's to blame. It had to be somebody's fault, right? After that, counseling, therapy, medications, interventions, and 13 more attempts.
Oh, Jackie, wow.
The fact that she's still alive is a miracle. And we were then silent on it for over 23 years until August the 3rd, 2019, when she broke the silence. And that story is also in the TEDx talk. And people can go watch the whole thing at Tedx.com.
I encourage all of you to hear Jackie's story through her TEDx talk. Again, the link and information will be in the chat below. Please do share it with others. Please do not brush it off thinking, oh, my family doesn't need that. Oh, my friends don't need that. Oh, we're okay. It's the okay that is the problem, because the okay covers everything. Masks everything.
Yeah, boy, it does. That's why we finally figured out that we couldn't be helping people look for signs like the Center for Disease Control does, because it doesn't work. The parent brain is hardwired to believe their kids are okay. So we had to create this way so that you just have this talk with anybody. Go practice it with everybody. It's always planned, always plan it in advance, just like a good sales call. Plan it in advance. Don't blindside anybody. And have fun with it. Suicide prevention, pure prevention, is a lot of fun.
Wow. Well, that's a definite way to end on a high note, a positive note, a plan and a purpose going forward. So Jackie Simmons, thank you so very much for being here today, sharing with us about your suicide prevention organization that you've developed to help make a difference in the world. Thank you so very much for being here on The Difference Makers.
Thank you.